The quote of the week is, if you do what's easy, your life will be hard. If you do what's hard, your life will be easy. Is that quote true or not? What do you think? Is that true or not? Or do you have an example in your life where you think it's true? I'm going to tell you what I think about it. I thought about it for a while to prepare for the show. All the people that commented on YouTube when I posted this, they may be featured in a few seconds. 𝗙𝗻𝗃, is he here in the chat? Is he here in the chat? He commented this. I feel you should do whatever suits you. Hard can mean different things for different people. And great video. Thanks so much, 𝗙𝗻𝗃. I agree with that. It's individual. He said hard can mean different things. And I also agree with that. Because just think about it. What is hard for you? What is hard for me? That's probably different. And in our lives, we all face different challenges that may be hard for us, but maybe not for somebody else. And they're hard for us. And if we take those challenges, it leads to a personal change and growth. If we face those challenges, it's opportunities. Each of those challenges, I think, and I'm going to go into that a little bit more, it's personal. It's a personal chance to grow. It's also very specific, and once you've grown on that challenge, it may not be the same challenge anymore, but some things are there for a reason. 𝗙𝗫𝗃, he said, I agree 100%. That's what he said. 𝗙𝗫𝗃, do you still agree? That's what you said. Amazing. Amazing. 𝗙𝗫𝗃, on the big screen. Jack the Ripper, he said this. I love the emote, by the way, or the little cool picture there. I really like it. Jack the Ripper, he says, it is definitely true. A little typo, but that doesn't matter. We get what it means. It is definitely true. I loved it. That's what he said. So the thing is, if you do what's easy, your life will be hard. There will always be challenges in your life. Like, let's say you have a test and you avoid learning for the test. You take the easy road. You just sit on the couch and watch a movie, kind of taking the easy way. That's a good example where your life will be hard afterwards. If you're not preparing on time and are not prepared for the test, you kind of take the easy way. You have a harder life afterwards. That's just a very simple example of where that quote would apply. Let's say math is really hard for you and you're learning for a math test and it's really hard, but you take the test and you're successful. Your life will be easier in the future. It's also a thing with procrastination. If you procrastinate things and you're not ready, it will actually be way harder than if you just do it and are prepared for the future. We have to think of really doing the harder things too. If you always choose easy, you will not learn that much. And 𝗙𝗫𝗃 says in the chat, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of. My situation right now. Yeah, learning for tests is hard. There will always be problems in your life. Problems of different size. Like there may be a person you always have difficulties talking to, and it's always escalating into a fight when you talk to that person. And you're not really finding a solution for that problem. You don't confront it. The problem will remain. So if you just avoid that problem, you're not facing it, you're never going for a discussion, it will not disappear. And my experience is once you think about it, why is it so hard to speak to, for example, that specific person? What makes it so difficult for me to speak to that person? And then you grow and you learn how to speak to that person. Maybe it needs a different way or your expectations are not the same. And then once you confront that problem or talk to that person and find a way, it's just like a chance to develop. It's a chance. See it as a chance to develop your skills. Take that challenge. Instead of avoiding it and take the easy way, take the challenge and take it as an opportunity to grow. And from there, all of a sudden, it will become easier. And in the future, it will be easier. The problem may disappear when you take hard over easy. And if you take the easy way, problems will keep coming back. There's another quote I really loved, and that was, choose hard over easy because you learn more. When you choose hard over easy, you will just learn more. If you always choose easy, so let's say you play tennis and you only play against weaker players than you are, you will not develop. But it will be easy, it will be very pleasurable, you will have a lot of wins, it will feel good. But once you face a difficult opponent, that one will be really hard. But let's flip this around. If you practice with people who are stronger than you, who play better tennis than you do, you will learn more. And it will be easier to play with them later on. And the easy opponents will be even easier. 𝗙𝗫𝗱 says, troubles with other people is always a bit weird and hard to solve. That's true. Always think of it this way. Just think everybody just wants to be good. Just assume people have no bad intention. They just can't help themselves. If you think somebody's doing something wrong, in your opinion, just think of it this way. They maybe just can't help themselves. Always helps to try to accept and just take it as they are. But I agree, challenges with people is probably the hardest and the most uncomfortable, but it gets easier when you actually do the talk that is required and do the development that is required. 𝗙𝗫𝗱 says, after you resolve the problem, it always seems silly. But taking the first step is so incredibly difficult. Did you guys notice in sitcoms? When you watch a sitcom, there's always problems. And how do those problems start? Almost every time the reason for problems and confusion is that people are not honest. They avoid confrontation, they're not honest with each other, and as long as they don't confront the problem, it gets worse. They choose easy, they avoid to face the problem, and the longer they avoid the problem, the harder it gets, the more difficult it gets. That's just like a typical sitcom thing. And so that's another good example where I think this quote really applies. Yeah, but it makes for good movies anyways. That's for sure. Otherwise movies would be boring. Have you heard the story where Will Smith, he wanted to go skydive? Because he told the story better than I can, but what he basically said, he was very afraid. He was very afraid. He thought he's gonna die when he was going to skydive. First he said it to his friends, and it was kind of a joke that when he said, hey guys, we're gonna go skydive tomorrow, he kind of thought it as a joke. But then in the next morning when they met at breakfast, I'm just giving you that story from memory, I hope I give it I recollect it right. They met at breakfast and they were totally serious, like, yeah, Will, we're gonna go skydive today. He was so afraid and he thought he's gonna die when he's jumping out of the plane, and it got worse once he was in the plane and he totally didn't want to jump the plane. But then, of course, his friends were also there and he didn't want to be a coward. He had to make up his mind and he had to jump. And then he jumped. Will Smith jumped out of the plane, skydiving, and then he said it was beautiful. It was the most beautiful feeling he ever experienced. And he said what he learned that day is that the most amazing things, the best things in life, are always hidden behind fear. So if you take that one step, get over your fear, you can really experience the most beautiful things in life. That's the story of Will Smith. That also came to my mind here when I read this quote. If you have an idea later on what you may have experienced, something similar that matches this, just put it in the chat and we can also talk about it later.